Today's video is brought to you by the coveted high-value man that Kevin Samuels is always talking about. I've even prepared a slideshow to represent these so-called high-value men. I know what you're saying. What could possibly be wrong with the cream of the top of the black community? There's just no way these men could actually be the cancer within our community. We live in a patriarchal society, and so I don't feel like it needs any explanation. So first up, we have Mr. Chris Brown that is actually in the news this week. And so, like I said, I did prepare this little sideshow so you guys could see all the different men or the type of men that are considered high value. You got Mr. Dr. Boyce Watkins there. I fuck with Kwame, so don't get that messed up. We got Jay-Z, we got DJ Khaled, we got Kevin Hart. I'm not saying anything bad about these men, but these are the men generally that Kevin Samuels, you got the black man, the regular black man who goes to college, gets degrees, working 9 to 5. It's supposed to be high value. Of course, you got men like Chris Brown. I'm just saying, based on what Kevin Samuel says to us, these just the criteria for being high value make probably over $200, $300, $400,000 a year. So they are coveted, right? So all black women want these men. We got the Dr. Dre's in the gym showing off whatever that is. Of course, you got the Hotep high value man. You got the Umar Johnson scamming ass high value man. You got the toxic ass and Tariq Nasheed. And of course, you got Mr. Kevin Samuels himself. So just trying to say that these are the high value men. So occasionally on this channel, we're going to just be bringing you different stories. Oh, of course, we got the game. But just Charlemagne. Charlemagne. Oh my God, it's been a lot going on with him. We're gonna get there though. But I just particularly just put this slideshow because, again, Kevin Samuels is just that man, and he just talks about what a high value man would want. He tears women down and tells them what's wrong with them and why they don't qualify, right? But I like the stories that really just kind of illustrate what a high value man and life is with a high value man, right? What you really get with these type of men, right? When it comes to Kevin Samuels financially, that's all that matters, right? Automatically, you are cream of the top. But these individuals that have in these pictures, if you know backstories, you all know everything that glitters is not always gold, and that even comes to these high value men. So we're going to get into tonight's story and who we're talking about tonight. So, of these so-called high value men, let me go ahead and right. So, of these high value men, y'all like the new and like the little new background. That's not even the finished one yet. The Bougie AF Feminism for the Soul. That's not the finished product, but we're gonna get there. Like I have another one that I think is gonna be it, but I did it myself. I'm extremely proud of it. Like it's like been a combination of different things. I like it. It's with me. It's most definitely my style. All right, so tonight, who do we have up? We have the game, and we have Mr. Chris Brown. Now, let me tell y'all first up, I am a fan of these men's work, right? Because you can separate the work from the artist. I'm sorry, the artist from their personal life, and just really be honest about like who they are as individuals, right? And so for me, I don't feel like you can take anything from these two individuals when it comes to their talent and what they've done in the industry. Now, what I will say, I'll never ever refer to JC on, aka the game, as like the GOAT of anything in the industry. I'm just sorry, it's just not enough work. Me personally, impact is just not as deep as other people. That's just how I feel about it. All right. So you have Chris Brown in the game, and they've made the news for different reasons. But like I said, these are high value men. Kevin Samuel says they just got to make money, just got to be successful. And that I feel like that's in the eye of what do they say? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I feel the same thing about success. I think it's in the eye of the beholder only because money is just not the only thing that makes you successful. The other things that make you successful is like how people feel about you, your kids, what you've been able to do within your life. Like all those things matter, right? So when it comes to these high value men, That's where Kevin Samuels really kind of falls short for me, because like for him it's just like no matter how toxic and no matter how um toxic, and no matter how kind of disgraceful these men are, for him it still puts them at high value, right? So we have Chris Brown and we have the game. So Chris Brown is in this week for, you guessed it, domestic violence, right? And I'm not trying to make light of it and all this other stuff. But that's what we're going to talk about first. It's Mr. Chris Brown. And this one is a little bit like, I think Chris Brown may be a little delusional. And let me tell you why I think Chris Brown may be a little delusional. And I'm going to show you, because it's not just telling you, I'm going to show you. We are quite aware of Chris Brown's past. I mean, if you've been just alive, you understand what happened with him and Rihanna that Grammy weekend, where he ended up having to plead for domestic violence with her. This has been just like weird, erratic, very aggressive behavior towards women. It's always stories popping up. I think maybe even like a year ago, there was just some random story about a woman in France. Everyone brushed that off. There's those stories about him when he was dating Karuchi. Kind of stalking this girl, making her life a living hell because he is a powerful man, right? So, like we know about Chris Brown, and when I say delusional, and I be like, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say delusional? And this is what I mean. Let me show you. Uh, oh, that's not the one we want. Chris Brown. So it was about. Let me see. Let me get the date. I want to get it right because I feel like society, and at points in times when it comes to Chris Brown, I felt like maybe the media was going in on him too hard. Maybe people aren't forgiving him for his past, whatever happened to Rihanna, because he ended up going to jail. Like he's at times, like he really. I don't know if that's what he went to jail for. I can't remember right now, but at the end of the day, he pled community service, like he's acknowledged and apologized for what he did, right? And so, what ends up happening when you have people who have um, black men who sometimes, get in trouble for domestic violence, they tend to try to really always blame like their circumstances, life circumstances, on why they do what they do, right? And so they really kind of become the victim within their, they become the victim within they become the victim, but the oppressor at the same time within our community. And I know what you're like, what do you mean by that? It's like someone who feels like because this is systematic racism, been dealt a bad hand in life, that they will feel that ultimately, even within other black people, puts them at a more of a disadvantage and give them more of a leeway to get away with exhibiting bad behavior. So sometimes that you will see that, right? But anyway, this is how Chris Brown is delusional. So, we know him from him getting domestic violence with Rihanna. We know him for Karuchi having to go get restraining orders, asking him to leave her alone. To the point like he was writing messages under Karuchi's new boyfriend. He was stalking her friend. Like if he went out to the club and her friends were there, he would give them a hard time. And I think he may even assaulted someone, but allegedly, like take their phones. Like he was off the hook. All of this shit is alleged. All of this shit. And so, as you can see, I have Instagram up, and this is what makes Chris Brown delusional. He did his time. You think people are going to come back and acclimate to back into society? Let me tell y'all, Rihanna happened, and then he ended up having to serve time soon after that. But then all the other accusations came after that. So at no point in time have we gone like numerous years without anything happening or any incidents happening with Chris Brown. Because at the end of the day, he don't really kind of owe anybody an explanation. He may have apologized to people who may have affected, but at the end of the day, there's nothing like saying that I get what I did was wrong, then change behavior. So when you don't see that, you're just like, okay, nigga, you are who they say you are who everybody says you are that has came in contact with you and have either filed charges or had something that come out about something that you've done. Like you are your character, you are your representation, you are what you do. And I think that is so much different than saying you are what someone thinks about you or what someone may assume about you. Like you purely your actions. When you are aware of what you're doing, you're most definitely that. Most definitely. Yes, you have to most definitely you can't say that you're not that person. And so I believe like no, people aren't bad people or someone's not a bad person, but at the same time, if I'm not out here doing good things or if I'm doing things that are affecting people's lives negatively, I think at that point in time, I'm a bad person. That's just like call it what it is. Like that's not to say that you got to throw people away, but call a thing a thing. And I think sometimes when I read this post that Chris Brown posted, I was like, yo, he doesn't even really acknowledge like all of the shit that he may have done. And that's not to say he can't be forgiven and other stuff, but it just feels like he's out of touch with like what reality is on him and him himself and like what the type of person he is. Okay, let's read it. I want to be remembered for my kindness, for showing up, for giving second chances, for acknowledging my own toxic traits, and for loving selflessly. If loving selflessly. If that ain't it, then I failed horribly. Remember to extend grace because we're all just walking each other home. I promise you, I read this and I was like, whoa. Sometimes, sort of like when you go to the church, you gotta disconnect the message from the messenger sometimes and just get the message, right? So I'm one of those people. I can disconnect the message from the messengers and get the message. I think that's key. That's that part right there. Pay attention to that. Because everybody that I may admire, share, and like, I can disconnect a good message from the person. So that's really, that's really important. So I don't really get caught up with thinking that people are what people thought Ellen DeGeneres was, like this great person. I'm not like, I think people are who they want you to think they are. So for me, it's like I'm never surprised because nobody's really gonna come out and tell you, oh, I'm really a bitch in real life. Like I'm really not a nice person. So those are just things that you are going to learn over time. So I don't make any assumptions about who the representative and I don't care how long I've known you. Like if I only know you in social settings and you always present to me one way, that's what I know. I couldn't possibly I couldn't possibly think I know you in depthly to speak on your character on your behalf, to be honest. All right. So I read this and I was like, well, damn, that's dope. But you do have to acknowledge the messenger at some point in time. And with acknowledging the messenger, let me tell you something about this internet, baby. It does not play with you when it's real, it's real. And I was like, this is how you know people are just trying to feed you bullshit and just like you want us to forget, like forget. And now, on top of all those things that I named for Chris Brown, did I also forget to tell y'all that he's a colorist, right? It's been alleged or whatever accounts of dark skinned women saying how when they're at the clubs, he won't allow them to go into his session, like his VIP section. Can you believe that? Right? And so when you hear how someone is horribly just disgusting to women, because like I said, what do you mean they can't come into your space? They can't like you treat your dark skin fans different than your light skin fans. And so like I said, preferences, I am okay with people having preferences. I have my own freaking preferences, but I think when you go out your way to make whatever is not your preference feel a sort of way, I think you're being an asshole. And most definitely I think he's a colorist. So let me tell you, these comments got him together because the people, it's always in the comments, and the people most definitely knew. So if you go here and you start like, reading the comments, okay, let me tell you, these celebrities, they're each other's biggest fans. So as soon as you see the blue check, just know that more than likely you're not going. If it's not something lovey dovey that everybody's lovey dovey on, but if it's something that requires some type of real holding someone accountable, you're never gonna see that kind of really, unless it's like a B celebrity, like a B level celebrity, like no, sorry, D like a D level, like D lister, like someone from like reality TV. Now they be in these comments heavy, trying to get fans and stuff like that. But somebody like, well known, they don't really be kind of trolling and they're not gonna say too much and give their opinion about somebody else's bullshit. So that's the difference I feel like when it comes to the blue check comments. You can always tell who's who. You can tell who's the bloggers who does the same type of run their mouth, or who's the reality TV stars, or who's the IG personalities, because they will give their opinions as if though they are working these comments also from a promotion. It works because you're gonna go check them out. So when you're looking at the comments, you got Mr. Ray, Tough Crowd, okay, reality TV, Love and Hip Hop. Then you got Derek Jackson right here, The Nerve. I just he's the only person that I know that felt like who went away and came back all within the same month. That shit was crazy. Like, how do you tell us that you cheated on your wife and have a prepared book? How do you get caught? How do you currently get caught? Like breaking news. Hey, look, y'all didn't know this, but also have a book prepared for the said caught-ness. I don't know. It was just a whole bunch of crazy. But anyway, back to Chris Brown, right? So this is where he's delusional at. So sadly, he'll be remembered for hating women of color. Okay, that is 21,601 votes. And so, like I said, he's talking about kindness, right? That disconnect right there. Kindness, question mark. You lack that for women, especially our dark skinned queens. They give it up in these comments. And then someone said, but he barely acknowledges his toxic traits. I tell y'all, some people feel like whoever they feel like they are accountable to, like, or whatever, they just feel like, oh, I'm gonna bring it to God, so it just is what it is. Well, he failed. Just like, okay, you feel like you failed if you don't accomplish that. Yeah, you failed, homie. And then someone, boy, you'll be remembered for beating up Rihanna. And then someone wrote, sir, sometimes dreams are too big. I promise you, I love sitting in comments. Comments be funny as hell to me. So don't be surprised. Like one day there's a story and we just sit in the comments and I just laugh the fuck off because like I said, I enjoy it. So he said someone so Jordan's nut says kindness for dark skinned women says otherwise, sir. It's like you can't pick and choose. You can't pick and choose who you think you should be a good person to. Like, do people know that? It's sort of like, I promise you, it's sort of like getting a PPP loan and lying to get it and then being like, oh my God, this is such a blessing. You know your blessing is not gonna come with jail time, right? I mean like your blessing is not gonna come with jail time. So that be the thing. It's just like, no, you can't just be scamming and doing some shit and then be like, this is my blessing. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. I'm sorry to break that news to some people. Wait, there's more comments. Like I said, I love the comment. So already there. Ain't nobody finna remember you for kindness, bro. All right. So this is the type of delusion probably that he probably got people in his life that he do for, give money, who eat off him. It's like, bro, yo, we all make mistakes. Don't even worry about it. 10 years from now, nobody ain't gonna remember that Rihanna situation. Long as you doing right by your people and donating, because niggas love to write a blank check to to the Salvation Army that don't help no fucking body and then feel like a clean slate has been built within them. Like it's be some bullshit, y'all. Right? All right. So that's a little. I mean, that's a lot of backstory about Chris Brown, but it is what it is. Let's spend some time. We got Chris Brown in the game on our mind right now. All right. So let's get to the actual what he is in the news for. You guessed it, domestic violence. I mean, once a woman beater, always a woman beater. They really don't change, especially one that doesn't even acknowledge that. All right, so we are on NBCnews.com. Chris Brown accused of hitting women in Los Angeles, police say. The incident is being investigated as a battery and will be referred to the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office, according to a police spokesperson. Okay. He said Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown was accused of hitting a woman during an argument in Los Angeles in a Los Angeles home on Friday, authorities said. A spokesperson for Los Angeles Police Department told NBC News Tuesday that officers responded to a report of an argument at a residence in the 19600 block of Citrus Ridge Drive in the San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles. The incident is being investigated as a battery and will be referred to the Los Angeles City Attorney's Office, according to the spokesperson. Few details have been released, but TMZ reported that the woman alleged that Brown smacked her in the head hard enough for her hair weave to fall out. Girl, he knocked your weave off? Oh, you gotta call You gotta call your cousins, and they need to call their other cousins. Like everybody need to meet together, and niggas need to find him. Like he smacked your weave off. Y'all watch these videos? These weave videos, they put so much fucking glue and shit to put that down. Like I'm like, how do you smack that shit off? The glue? Like how do you smack? That shit don't be moving. I be seeing it. They be tugging on that shit. That shit don't be moving. So that nigga hit her really hard. No injuries were reported, and it was unclear if Brown would face any charges. Brown's attorney did not immediately respond to a request for comment Tuesday. Yeah, like, and it's just like, and it's like I said to you guys, like there was times like I would even feel like Wendy Williams would like unfairly go in on Chris Brown, and but she would kind of be kind of light on Shia LaBeouf. And don't take it as what it is. I'm a Wendy girl, and you say the wrong thing, you could be tucked behind her, right? But at the same time, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. For me, it was just like she would go really, really hard on Chris Brown. And he had already did his time. He wasn't really kind of, sometimes he wasn't in the news, but and she would just go really hard on him when it came time to report anything that came up with him. But then when it was Shia LaBeouf, she'd be like, "Oh, be a young boy, being a young boy, and he's gonna learn." So she would like be really like lopsidedly light for Shia LaBeouf, and I didn't appreciate that. I didn't like that. I will say this, but when it comes to Chris Brown, it's domestic violence. I feel like, black men really need to stop. If they're really serious about supporting black women, domestic violence is serious, and this man clearly has a problem. And we would love for other black men to come out and support and say something about that, right? And that's not to say you judge anybody, but if you're really about this and you're an advocate for and you advocate and you talk about being pro black, this is a part of your pro blackness. And the hesitation from other black men to get involved and speak out is a problem. I know it's a problem for me. So that's just how I feel. And so when it comes to Chris Brown, I was like, okay, we need some consistent change in you. Not like 1 year, you may not hear nothing really big, or 2 years, you may not hear nothing really big. But like when we start to hear it, we start to hear it. I'm pretty sure, like I said, allegedly, but that France accusation that came up, I really think that was just almost like 2019, you know? And so we now 2021. He doesn't give us a long stint of just like changed behavior to like kind of believe that he's not allegedly a woman beater. But I mean we gotta say allegedly, but he's been he's gotten in trouble. He's on he's really on papers for this shit. That's all I gotta say with Chris Brown. I mean, it's a really sad situation because, like, if you know a little bit of Chris Brown history, I know he's talked about his mom, and seeing his, I think it was his stepdad, beating on his mother. So he's someone who witnessed domestic violence, and so a lot of times they say men kind of pick it up that way. But I would just think, I don't know. I would think I'd want to be totally opposite of something that was so hurtful to my mother and be the biggest advocate for women because I grew up seeing what that pain looks like. So just to see a man just be like, I don't know, how do you turn around and see something so traumatic being happen to your parent, to your mother, and then just be that same type of person? I don't know. That's just deep for me. All right, so we get that. That's Chris Brown, right? All right. So, like I said, we were talking about Chris Brown in the game. In this one, we're not gonna go. I mean, it's not gonna be too much I'm gonna talk about on this one, but we have to acknowledge the game. So the game. Happy Father's Day. I'm sorry, Chris Brown. I didn't say it to you. Happy Father's Day to you. The reason why we are acknowledging the game is that he wanted to talk about his children and how they treated him for Father's Day. Now, I'm not saying because at one point in time the game did a reality TV show with his ex fiance. I think her name was Tiffany. I'm not sure. You might have to go double check, but I'm pretty sure it was Tiffany. I think. All right, but anyway, she became his fiance, but his children's mother. She's older than him. I remember that dynamic. But like I said, it was Father's Day this Sunday, and so I am recording this on a Wednesday night, and it's been reported by Complex. That let me show you. All right, it's being reported by Complex. That the game feels some sort of way, like he's angry at his kids. Um, The game shares video detailing disappointment in his kids ignoring him on Father's Day. Now I know what you're saying. Like, why would these kids? I mean, I promise you, like this dude, he was hot. He's made a lot of money. I mean, he was on the reality TV show. He had a little baby girl when she was little, with all types of pictures. Like he really put on during the show. Like I thought we were getting like Dad of the Year. You know what I mean? So to fast forward to where we're at right now, and to hear that his kids didn't want to celebrate, or not celebrating him. Now a little backstory to him: he's been in the news for all types of shit right now. He owes a woman, a judgment has been filed against him for millions of dollars, for some type of sexual assault, some type of something that she didn't want happened, right, on a reality TV show that he had, right. There's been other stories of him, and he's just yeah, he's that dude that talks about you, right? If you hook up with him, like he's in the locker room telling all your business if you busted wide open and what he did to you and how you ran between you and your friends. Like he that nigga, he that messy, chatty type of nigga, right? So he's made songs detailing his escapades with other women, letting you know who he has smashed. There's been like rumors of potentially and alleged, maybe potentially Kim Kardashian and her sister Chloe, and all of this is alleged, but I'm just saying he's that dude who will talk and make it seem like he hit it. And he doesn't mind name dropping, like really messy, messy boots, very emotional, because he'll run to the social media and put everything out there. You know what I mean? So when I tell you very toxic, he said a lot of um um. I happened to be in the club room one time, and after being accused of the sexual assault and the civil judgment going against him, and he's really in the room, in the clubhouse room I was in at the time, and he's literally talking about women need to really mean it when they say no. Like he was just like, oh, does no really mean no, basically. And it's just like, you in your past, any female that you talk to, you should have that sit down where you just like, hey, I want you to tell me, and let's be clear, no is only to really be used if you really mean no, right? I mean, like have safe words or some shit. Like since you seem to have a problem with knowing whether or not a woman or not wants you on top of her or wants your sexual advances, since you seem not to be able to pick up on that, maybe you need a safe word or something, some shit. I'm thinking that. So he's really a disgusting person. And, all this shit is alleged. So he is upset. I just want to give a little backstory because, like I said, the kids. I don't know what he did to the kids. I mean, they were the little girl. She was really good for the camera back in the day. All right, let's see. In a video shared on his Instagram, rapper The Game expressed his disappointment that only one of his children seemingly acknowledged him on Father's Day. So he must have either tweeted or Facebooked or what he put it at? Okay, on Instagram. He posted, it's a disrespect for me. He captioned this 6-minute video, hoping all the real fathers out there got blessed and showered with all the love and appreciation they deserve. For the ones that did not, I feel your pain. This nigga. In the actual video, he explained himself further and remarked that the only person that really acknowledged the fact that I was a father was my oldest son. Oh, y'all remember him on one of those album covers, I think. He explained how his oldest son he explained how his oldest son purchased him some cologne, some stuff with his budget, which he taught which he thought was beautiful. As a father, I always went above and beyond for my children, and even the people around me, he continued. They should take notice. You should understand that on Father's Day, that's very important. That's a very important day. Mother's Days over the years, I went all out on Mother's Day. For Father's Day, for some reason, around the board overall. What? I went out all out on Mother's Day. For Father's Day, for some reason, around the board overall, it gets a little disrespectful. It's like I'm starting to feel like the deadbeat dads out there. They must know something. You got fathers out there that are putting in major work, and holidays comes around for us. And I feel like people don't give a fuck about it. Oh, okay. We got a clip, so let's go ahead and listen to
Hey, look, I'm really on here I'm really only on here talking about this because it's just really, it really bothers me, man, right? Because I know the type of heart I got and I know the type of person I am, right? And it's like, I take care of a lot of people and I do for a lot of people. And I'm not talking about like strangers or nothing like that. I'm talking about like family, friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, just people, everybody in my circle. It's a big fucking circle. I take care of a lot of people. And yesterday, woke up on Father's Day, and the only person that really acknowledged the fact that I was a father was my oldest son. Right? He got me some cologne, some stuff within his budget, and I thought that was beautiful. I appreciated it. And I love them. I love them to death because that's how I raised them, to be humble, to always remember and always take care of your people, especially when they're very very present in your life. And as a father, I've always went above and beyond for my children, and even the people around me. They should take notice. You should understand that on Father's Day that is a very important day. um, Mother's Day, Mother's Day, man, over the years, I've went, all out on Mother's Day. Everybody goes out, all out on Mother's Day. Mother's Day is like, one of the holidays where you better show up, you know what I'm saying, for the mothers in your lives. I always do. I always go above and beyond. But Father's Day, for some reason, around the board, like overall, it gets a little disrespectful, man. It's like, I'm starting to feel like, the deadbeat dads out there, the niggas, like, they must know something. You know what I'm saying? Because they not contributing shit and they don't get noticed. You know what I'm saying? And they don't deserve notice because they not real fathers. But you got fathers out there that are putting in major work, and then a holiday on Father's Day. I mean, a holiday comes around for us. Ain't many, but Father's Day, and I feel like people don't really give a fuck about it. At least in my life, right? Because like yesterday, like other than eating with my son, I don't really have anything to show for Father's Day. But everybody that I take care of, even in it more, including my children and more, like I take care of adults and nothing to show. Some ain't even text me Happy Father's Day. I see, Instagram posts about, every night to be, petty or seeming like I'm bitching over that. But nah, I'm just taking notice of like stating the facts. I see Instagram posts and shit and about everything else, but Happy Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of Happy Father's Day texts from people I barely know, strangers. You know what I'm saying? Some lengthy, some paragraphs. And the people that I know personally, that I take care of, that I look out for on a daily, monthly, yearly basis for, I don't know, years and years and years, crickets, nothing. And excuse me. I'm just tired of the disrespect, man. Like it don't even make no sense. You know what I'm saying? And to be perfectly honest, that shit kind of really cut deep in a nigga's soul. Because it's like I know, as a father, I know what I put in. You know what I'm saying? Ever since my first son was born, I know the amount of work that I put in as a father. And even for my younger two, always been there. You know what I'm saying? So I know who I am as a father. Can't nobody tell me that I'm not the type of father that deserves praise, deserves notice. And I'm not saying go out buy a nigga Lamborghini or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to be, post Father's Day, to be on this video, making this video, and to really have nothing to show for it is just unacceptable. It's crazy. It's unacceptable, and I'm really not fucking with it. So today is the day that if you're in my life and you've been close to me and I've done what I've done for you and I've taken care of you and I've looked out for you over the years for several years, and you know that you didn't show up on Father's Day with any type of appreciation, today is the day I cut you off. And it's not
it. Oh,
personal. It's
damn.
just that actions
I didn't
scream
know he
louder
was
than
gonna
words,
cut
man.
niggas
And
off.
yeah, I'm tired of the disrespect, and so I got to do something about it. And I hate to bring it to social media, but there might be other fathers out there who feel unappreciated, and who might be might need to know that they're not alone. You know what I'm saying? And another thing that's hurtful is that I seen videos of other celebrities, and I'm not saying it's just all about celebrities. I seen some videos from just normal fathers, but I'm a celebrity, so I take into account that some Instagram videos on that I seen yesterday. Man, fathers is getting spoiled. They getting
Nigga
taken
seen
care of. Most
Bootie's
notably, my nigga
breakfast.
Boosie, man. My nigga
See,
Boosie had a Father's Day breakfast. Nigga, that shit looked like it came
he was
from the
hungry
Four
and seen
Seasons or
that
some shit.
shit.
You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my homie Boosie. We've been down for a long time, man, 20 plus years. But yeah, man, it's just, yeah. I mean,
There you got. Sometimes you gotta cut a nigga
yeah.
off. You
I
gotta
don't
cut
know what else to
somebody
say,
off.
man, except
Sometimes
SMFH,
it be
man.
like that. Shaking my head.
Damn. All
Sometimes it
right,
be
y'all.
like
I'm gonna
that.
let y'all get back to y'all day, man, and I'm gonna get back to yeah, whatever it is over
It
here.
look like
All
you're
right,
doing
y'all stay
Jenga in the
smooth.
back. All right, so that's the game, and just want to, these are the high value men that Kevin Samuels is always telling us that no matter what they may be doing in their personal lives, and listening to the game, if you know the game, he's really well spoken. California niggas can speak some really good game, okay? But the game is really well spoken, so he really makes you like feel like him. Like you just be like, oh, well, why they don't appreciate you? Like you really, your heart just be like, because he can do it to you. Like he got nice eyes, he got light skinned niggas, so you really start to feel bad for someone like the game. I will say this because I did used to watch his reality TV show, and like I said, over the years, he's always made it a point to he's always made it a point to include his kids and always talk about his kids, post his kids, and really talk about how he loves showing up and being there for his kids. So he's always done that. And so, with that being said, I can see why he's upset. But it just be those things we don't be knowing. I promise you, we don't be knowing. We're not going home with these people. We just don't know. So for kids, and at the end of the day, like I feel like I don't know what's going on between him and the ex, but because he's such a good, because he says it, right? We're just going to believe him for this one because there is we have observed him really being hands on. If he's really been that nigga and taking care of just people in general in his life and his kids, yeah, they should have did something nice for him. They should have had a barbecue. They should have did something for him. I agree with that. I mean, he may not be an ain't shit person, in real life with other people. This is the type of toxic ass nigga who'll be like, as long as I'm good to the people around me. So you'll see that they really will go over and above for the people around them, but just be really assholes to the people outside of that circle, right? And for them, they still feel like I'm a good person because I'm good to just the people I love. So they'll fall short outside of that. Although dying on the cheating he did on the ex, but anyway, allegedly, and mistreating of her. But generally they usually are really good to the people around them. They just fucked up if they don't care about you. So I'm not gonna say he deserved. Well, I mean, some people would, but at the same time, I think there's something missing because why, if you're that nigga and you on top of it and you take care of people and you take care of them, that's something your baby mothers should have made sure that they were, looking out for you and doing something nice for you. That was their job. Like, to be completely honest, I don't care how old the kids are, but as an adult, that is what you're here for, to lead them to do the things that they're supposed to, and they're most definitely they were supposed to do something nice for him if he has been, the father that he was supposed to be. So that's all I got on these two niggas. I got a couple more videos. I got videos to do, so so you know how we do here. We're gonna keep it bougie and posh. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I am out.